Today on OverArch, I'm joined by Tanya Maas. Tanya's career has taken her through sales, entrepreneurship, photography, and now recently real estate. And what makes her story so interesting is how each chapter built on the last. In this episode, you'll hear how experience compounds, how timing matters, and how the right people and decisions can completely shape where you end up. Here's our conversation.
You are listening to OverArch.
Tanya, thank you so much for having this conversation today. I've known you for a while, and welcome to the OverArch podcast. It's a conversation. It's not an interview, so just make that clear. We're here to have a chat. The OverArch, it basically is, I talk to people about their careers and their career path, where they've come from a young person to where they are today. But there's always tangents we can go off on if something's interesting. So there's no right or wrong way to have this conversation. So first of all, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited and nervous.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things where after the first few minutes, you kind of get into, yeah, this is just a conversation. Especially when you start to hear yourself in your headphones, you go, oh, this is kind of interesting. It's kind of a new sort of format to have a conversation. So basically, I want to start off with I'm really excited to chat with you today because you've really acquired some skills throughout your career. And I think that's the best way to put it. Right? I mean, it's not like I've had a lot of jobs, but the different types of jobs and career moves you've had, you've really built on it and you've grown. So let's just start with what you're doing today. Okay, so go ahead and take her away. Tell me what your role is.
Absolutely. So right now, what I decided to do a couple years ago was to go back to UBC and get my real estate license. And it was something I had wanted to do for quite some time. I had a fork in the road probably in about 2015, where it was very pivotal, either real estate then or the auto industry. And at that point, my kids were younger. Mm-hmm. I spoke to a couple of real estate agents. One was our family realtor at the time, and she had worked with our family for many years. And she was very honest. And she thought, well, while my children were so little, it probably wouldn't be the best career. And we talked about that. And so I ended up going into the auto industry. Lo and behold, now it is my time. The kids are older, and I'm finding that it is exactly where I need to be because, to your point, I've built up all these different skill sets, and all of those compiled together. And it's really interesting to look back in hindsight and be like, oh, this has led me here for a reason.
And that is why that's why I'm having you on here. But it's fascinating because right off the bat, you find yourself in that life position where, okay, I've got a choice to make career and family wise. And I think a theme that's sort of throughout all these conversations I've had is like when you get to a point, your family and your friends or family more, it really does define your choices, right? Because we find out what's really important as we get older. I mean, when you're in your teens and 20s, you're like, okay, I just gotta, whatever that is, I gotta make money and this is success. I'm climbing a ladder. I've got a title. And then as you get older, I mean, this is, for me personally, it's really just how's the family doing? Like, how's their health? How is their happiness? I mean, that's my marker of success. So with that said, so tell me a little bit about real estate now that you're in it how long have you been a real estate agent now?
So as of March, 1 year.
Okay.
So I passed my exam January 2025, and then you're still kind of in several different components, they're called, for another 6 months, kind of a practicum, if you will, and you have a temporary license. So after that was August. I got my final actual license, and it's been a year. So I've had 2 deals so far.
Nice.
It's an interesting market to be joining in. Many people are like, are you nervous you joined in such a low time? And I think, no, there's a lot of opportunity to be able to be starting in a time where it is slower. I can build a foundation of my business that's going to serve my clients really well. Without that, like a couple of years ago, some of the agents who started when it was really hype and busy, they were writing deals without seeing homes, without inspections. I would rather learn now at a slower pace, build it slowly the way I want to, and go from there.
And I think too, it's something where you got to start. You know what I mean? Like, what are you waiting for? So whether it's low or high, in your life, it sounds like it was the right time to do it. So if the market was hot, you would have been in a hot market.
Yep,
right?
Absolutely. It's going to take you 5 years. Sorry, Atlee.
No, go. No, never apologize. This is your show, Tanya. So I'm just here to guide it.
We'll go through that a few times, I'm sure. But yeah, I have a tendency to interrupt, so I will watch that. But I definitely think that probably at that pivotal point, you're right. This is the right time. This is the right space. And I went into it knowing anytime you start a business as an entrepreneur, it's going to take you 5 years. So it doesn't matter what the market's going to do. Just got to start. Build it. Expect 5 years of hard. And if you can grind it out and you're not just on a gravy boat, then you're going to probably last longer. This is a longevity career.
Oh, absolutely. So for those of you listening, you're going to learn a lot today. Okay, just so you know, because Tanya is also an entrepreneur, and you've started some businesses as well, and had some decisions to make through that. So this is, I mean, I know I have your thumbnail as a real estate, but I think I've got to add more to that. We'll see. I'll get your feedback on that, because you bring up a great point. Yeah, that 5-year plan. You got to give it 5 years. You know, sometimes it's 10 years. It's okay, you have to get in there, and then you become that overnight success after 10 years of experience. Right? That's sort of how it works. So right now with the real estate, what are you enjoying about this career move?
So besides the design aspect, like I absolutely love getting into homes and seeing potential, and I can visualize things. So I enjoy doing that with clients, especially if they can't. That's been a really great experience so far, but really serving people so that it just boils down to an experience. And I would say that would also be something that was instilled in me from many years ago. One of my first jobs was Dino.
Okay, so let's. I was just gonna say, let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we?
Sure.
So we're gonna talk to young Tanya. So Tanya, what was your first job?
Besides delivering papers and babysitting, I definitely had.
Well, let's talk about the
babysitting.
Babies. That's a responsibility.
It was. I was very young, and the little kids I babysat were also Tanya and her little brother, and so I was Big Ta and she was Little Ta.
Yeah.
And I was with those kids for years, actually.
Okay, so how old were you then? Were you first babysitting?
Oh gosh, maybe 10.
Okay.
Like young, because it was a trailer court.
Yeah.
So they were neighbors. They're right there. My mom
awesome.
was still home. It was safe to allow a younger person back then, to kind of watch your kids because their mom is also right there anyways.
Yeah. And you build a trust, and you kind of know the family as well, right?
Absolutely.
So look, just really quick then, looking back, what do you think you learned from we're going to build you up like where you are today. So
Sure.
what do you think you learned from babysitting?
Patience, probably, and relationship. I actually kept in touch with Little Ta for years, and I've lost touch now, but probably the last time I even saw her was maybe 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I think relationships matter, and I remember reading to them as kids. I think that was my first taste of I wanted a big family, hence I have 4 children. Right from the get-go, I just loved that motherly kind of nurturing
That's so cool.
position. Yeah.
So, okay, relationships. So then I just reflect back to being a real estate agent. Oh, how important are relationships? Oh, okay. So we kind of I'm seeing something sort of come to fruition here. So we're building on it. So then the paper route, I've had a few friends on the podcast who did have the paper route, told them, it taught them, I mean, they didn't make much money. But you just kind of have a responsibility. You got to be there on time. You got to deliver the papers. How long do you have that?
You have to collect the money.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah.
You also you were responsible. So you kind of understood that value of what the service should be giving you, which was never very much, to your point.
Yeah.
And as a child, I kind of realized this value isn't equal. Like my time was probably worth a little bit more. And I think I connected that pretty young.
Oh, same here.
But speaking about relationships, my mom would be like, where's my kid? I'd be found in a home visiting with a senior, having tea or having coffee, not coffee,
goodness.
but they would be. And I'd be sitting there just listening. And I enjoyed that so much.
And how old were you?
Oh, so young. For us, it was about helping to provide for the family.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Jeez, Tanya. I didn't know that.
Yeah, single mom raised us. So we had, my older sister had a
that's so
paper
cool.
route. I had a paper route. And that really just kind of helped to go towards the family.
That is so cool. Okay, so you had the paper route, and then so that's you learned a lot of life lessons early.
Very early. We had to work hard.
Yeah, but I mean, I think when you're in it, you don't really understand.
No,
You don't get that.
I had the greatest childhood, to be honest. Like, I think now I'm glad that we had to work hard. We had to understand the value of it.
No, I think, when you're in it, you hate it. But as you get older, you're going, I'm so glad I picked weeds at my grandma's place. And it was like, I think I got paid lunch. But you're working for the whole weekend. But it just kind of, you're also helping out your grandma too, right? So it's pretty good. Yeah, looking back, you're okay with it. But when you're in it, Oh, I'd rather be playing with my friends. For
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we got a bit of, you mentioned Dino Town. So you had the first 2 jobs, very young when you started, which is great babysitting, fantastic learning experience for you. Dino Town, let's talk about that a little bit.
Still to this day, I've had a couple top jobs.
Yeah.
That has been one of the best. I learned so many things. I had 2 mentors, definitely that stood out for my whole careers, everything I've done since. Things that I learned there were, after these walls, anything beyond in the staff section, we could be ourselves. But after these walls, when we go out into the park, we're on stage.
Okay,
which
so
means
let's just really quick for those listening. What is Dino Town? It's kind of like,
so. Yes,
I'm gonna let
Dino
you
Town
sort of,
is in Bridal Falls, but it was also known to be Flintstones Park.
Yeah, back
so
in the day.
Back in the day, in the 80s, and then in the 90s, it switched over. There was a whole patent or whatever was the copyright got changed, but the owners wanted to keep things going, and so they did, and that changed to Dino Town, and so we were basically a big family kids entertainment park.
Yeah, it was like a giant amusement park full of
Yes.
these dinosaurs and little rides and stuff like that, right? Exploratory things, magical.
And people were coming from all over the place.
You
right?
guys had a stage there as well, didn't you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that walls thing makes sense. So when it's all
Yeah.
Disneyland, same thing.
Totally.
Like when you're
you need to go out there and leave your problems behind. But hey, we will support you a bit, right? We'll talk to you guys behind these walls. But after that, you're on stage.
Yeah.
It's about an experience because these people are coming.
Yes.
They're paying to be here, and these kids deserve it.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, no crying when you're outside. Go behind the wall and yeah, that's fair. That's good. Well, yeah, you're a performer. You're acting.
Yep.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So tell me a little more about what you learned there, or what you had to go through.
Well, we had.
And how old were you? Sorry.
Oh gosh, I think it's hard to remember exactly. Probably 14, 15-ish.
Wow.
Roughly. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely before my license because I'd have to get a ride. And then I went back every year after. You'd get a call back if they liked you,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
you'd get a call back. And so for 3 summers. And again, I've kept in touch with Rob. He was the son to Helen who owned it.
Yeah.
So he and I have briefly kept in touch
Very cool.
online.
Relationships.
Huge passion for him as well. Like he'll throw a throwback photo online or on LinkedIn, and I'm
wow.
like, oh, I'm in that. I'm
That
like
is so
this little
cool.
kid. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's
Yeah.
so cool.
It was just a magical place to work, and one of the things his mom also taught me there, and why she was a mentor is she saw in me things that I didn't recognize, and one of them was that basically she said, Tanya, there are givers and there's takers in the world. You're a giver. Be careful of the takers. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I'm like, oh, thanks, Helen. But I get that. I can absorb a lot. I like to give a lot. And I had to be careful with that throughout my life.
But having that mentor, you know what I mean? Like growing up, there's a recurring theme again, is those people in our lives. And they don't have to have big fancy titles and things. There's those people in your life that kind of come in, sort of see something in you where you're not looking for it, and then they just give you that advice, and you kind of, to this day you remember that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
or opportunity, right? They give
Yeah.
you an opportunity and you might not realize, and then hindsight. There's hindsight for a reason.
yes, 100%. I think that's really important, even as as I have more of these conversations, I always think like, yeah, if I'm a young person trying to start my career, what advice would you give them and things like that? So there's always, if anyone has an opportunity to see something in somebody, just let them know, give them that positive little reinforcement. It's so rewarding, like to have that mentorship to be passed down, especially as I get older. I'm like, yeah, whatever I can do to help is 100%. So I'm hoping this conversation, I know at the end of this conversation, whoever's listening is going to get a lot of information and a lot of really cool things, because you are an absolute amazing person and your work ethic is unbelievable. So we're going to get into that right now. So we have, after Dino Town, is it fair to move on to the next position?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's go.
So we're going to Dino Town now. What was the next job after that? So you were still in high school?
So
at Dino
still in
Town?
high school.
Okay.
From there, I went into Champagne and Lace in Abbotsford. So
Okay.
I learned.
Still in high school?
Still in high school.
Wow, okay.
I was in the fashion design program. And so long story short, I had at that time thought I was going to be a fashion designer.
Oh, that's cool.
In New York. And I was like 16. Every girl's most every girl's dream probably. And so I wanted to do my work experience at Champagne and Lace in Abbotsford.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. So after my work experience, they kept me on and I sold prom dresses, which was so fun.
Oh
so
my
fun.
goodness.
And
Tanya.
part of the wedding experience, you know, every once in a while I'd be on the wedding floor side, but I enjoyed that, surrounded with strong women. Again, mentorship.
Yes.
Huge.
Oh my
Huge
goodness.
group of beautiful women that I was so young. I was like one of their like little kids, really.
Yeah.
And so I worked there for years, a few years.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was a special time.
That's
I
so
learned
cool.
a lot there. I learned a lot there. I can't even go into how much I learned. But one thing Jerry
please.
did is she would make sure after
Jerry was an owner?
Jerry was the owner.
Okay.
Yeah, she
So
was the
cool.
owner. And so Jerry would say, after an experience, you know, we would handwrite these cards to the girls and we would mail them out. And I just thought that was so special.
Yeah.
That was such a special personal touch
Yeah.
because I enjoyed my time with them, right? Yeah, it was cool.
It's a little relationship building.
Yeah.
Holy crap. That's pretty cool. So I'm also impressed the fact that you wanted to be in the fashion industry and go to New York, but you took the steps to go that route and check it out and start, right? You're not just dreaming, you're doing. Mm-hmm. Tanya, I see a pattern here. So what else? How long did you work for there for? Was that like a summer thing or was it seasonal?
It was
during school still.
During school still when I was able to.
Yeah.
So then I really only left after I graduated because I moved to Kelowna with some friends.
Okay. And so after graduating, you moved to Kelowna. What were you? Well, that's kind of a
Oh yeah,
of
some
whim, like a
interesting adult decided to rent his whole 5-bedroom home to 18, 19-year-olds in Kelowna.
Oh my goodness.
So
okay.
we all took off there and rented our rooms and had a great time.
You're going to try adulthood. Here we
did.
go.
We
so,
did.
So after graduation, you're like, okay, we're going to become
like
adults.
full-on Friends episodes.
Good for you.
Yeah, it was good.
Those are good.
Still friends with them.
Well, there you go. Relationships. What did you do in Kelowna? How did you?
I did a few things. So one of them was I tried my hand at waitressing. I'm
Yeah.
terrible at it.
Okay.
Like
Why?
highly recommend everybody has to serve once in their life.
Yeah.
I was great at the person stuff,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
The people thing. But the time management and getting the food out and carrying 5 plates and
Yeah.
remembering their orders, not my thing.
Okay.
Not my thing.
But you
at
had to
all.
try to figure that out,
I
right?
did try to figure it out. So that I moved on from and then found myself in the wedding industry again, doing black and lace tuxedos.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I rented
Yeah.
my tuxedo from there. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So with that experience, well, obviously you're just kind of gaining experience. At that point in time, how were you feeling? Were you confident in what you were doing when you go out to get a job? Were you still uncertain of things, or were you taking what you learned from a young person in the workforce? Or?
I think we had it a bit easier finding work, to be honest,
Yeah,
than kids
yeah,
now,
yeah.
or young people now, I should say. I never felt concerned about finding work because I feel like at that time you really could interview for like 3 or 4 places and get something.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
What an opportunity. It's not, I don't think it's like that now.
It's different now.
It is different. Yeah. Well, we just came out of COVID and that shut, I don't know, 30, I don't know the stats. I'm not going to start talking
No,
stats
it's just
here because
different. We'll just agree to that.
It's very different. Yeah, for sure. And hopefully we're getting out of that. So you basically, so what I have you here is, so I'm going to talk about your skill stack. So this is kind of one section of the show here. Mm-hmm. You're a bridal consultant. That's that was in Abbotsford, correct?
Yeah.
So emotional sales. Tell me a little bit about how working with people in their sort of a huge part in their life.
Absolutely.
So
and
what was that like?
I find that I really enjoy those big milestones for people.
Yeah.
Like no matter what I've done, I think that I'm attracted to that for some reason.
Okay.
So I loved being a part of this. I loved it when I could find a dress for this young teenager that fit her budget, that she maybe didn't expect it on the hanger, but I had this knack of being like, just try it on, just trust me. Okay. And so that trust factor, right? And so they'd put it on and I would be like, very happy because oftentimes it'd be right because you would get to know the body figure and what worked
for sure.
for them.
Yeah, design.
Yes, right. And so to see that surprised excitement, again, that creates this experience, and I thrive in that. I enjoy that positivity and that excitement. So I think that has also followed through no matter what I've done.
Oh, absolutely. I was just knowing you, and I was really, well, that makes sense for this, because I mean, you're a real estate agent. That's a big part in someone's life to get a house.
Huge.
For sure.
Yeah.
So with the bridal consulting, design, I just kind of flashed in my head, because you are a very creative person. You did start your own business. You're doing marketing, things like you're doing a lot of your own marketing as well.
Oh, absolutely. Everything.
Yeah. So that takes quite a skill.
Thank you.
But with the bridal, I mean, you're right. If you're looking at fashion and lines and curves and falls of fabric and things, details, and that's something people wouldn't necessarily see when they come in to buy something like that.
No, it looks so different on a hanger than on you. And the same thing when you go into an open house. You can scroll through images online, but when you're actually in the property, it's so different.
Yeah.
It's so different.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm just having epiphanies here. Going,
Totally.
makes
It's
sense.
weird how some of these things are a little paralleled.
Very paralleled. And just what you're doing today makes so much sense. It's like it was a natural, but you had that sort of early on, you wanted to do it.
I did.
Yeah. So with the bridal, so once you went to bridal, the bridal consultant, what was your next? Okay, so you're in Kelowna. You're kind of going more retail, more customer service, black and lean tuxedo. What was after that?
Back to Champagne and Lace because I moved back to Chilliwack to get married and start a family.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Well, I'm sure they'd love to have you.
Oh yeah, it was a great fit to just go back and I mean, I wasn't there too long because I ended up having my first baby pretty much shortly after I moved back actually.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that was something that did change. After I had him, I didn't want to commute to Abbotsford and I stayed in Chilliwack and I just took a little I took a job at Staples, also a great place to work, by the way.
And well, that's a life decision. You have a moment in your life.
Yeah.
You have a turn.
I just wanted to be a mom.
Yeah. So you had to priorities shifted to raise kids, and which is important.
Yes.
Staples for sure. That's another, and it's close to home.
Yeah, it was close to home, and I stayed there for a couple kids. So then I became a young mom. That was my career.
Yeah.
But I always struggled because I wanted to work outside the house. So I had a really hard time
tell me about
being
that.
a stay-at-home mom because I wanted to go do stuff. So I think you have this guilt when you're a mom, like who's also an entrepreneur at heart or a creative soul, and all of a sudden your identity is becoming this mother instead. I had a battle with that. So I picked up a camera when I had my third baby. And
While you're at Staples, you're kind of like...
No, sorry,
okay,
I should
that's okay.
retract.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Once I had my second, I stopped working. There was no point.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I wanted to be at home with them. So we were lucky enough that I was able to do that for a while.
But you had this
But I still had a pull
desire
to do something creative
Yeah,
for me.
keep going. Let's sit in here for a bit.
Yeah,
I love it.
so Canon, as you may know, came out with the Rebel. So they broke out into the industry brilliantly with this camera that became somewhat affordable for hobbyists. So at the time, you couldn't just grab a camera and become a photographer. And then Canon came out with this Rebel where it became available to some people, still about a $3,000 price point for the first DSLR. Mm-hmm. And I convinced my husband to buy me one of these cameras and I would just make myself a photographer. So I did a lot of courses, self-learning. At the time, they were Jasmine Star, who's like total girl crush for me.
Okay.
Entrepreneur queen and photographer when she started. And so she's really world known actually as an entrepreneur and in that space. So again, the wedding stuff comes back because now I'm a photographer.
Yeah.
Now I'm learning. Now I'm following people like Jasmine Star, who's doing live broadcast teachings called, let me think, Creative Live. Did you ever hear about Creative Live?
No, I never did.
Okay, it was really cool at the time. I guess it's like Skillshare. So they would have these professionals come on. You would sit there and do a live webinar, and you would learn so much. So I just would.
I like the live. I like the live. Keeps you accountable and on.
And it was free at the time.
Okay.
Totally brilliant thing they were doing. So then, of course, I go from photography, hobbyist to really honing my skill set, and then back in the wedding industry.
Yeah. So it made sense.
Milestones. Yeah.
How long were you doing photography for? You're still doing
10
photography
years.
now.
I do dabble, but
yeah,
10
for sure.
years. Yeah.
And you were very talented at it too.
Thank you.
Which is awesome.
Never good enough in my eyes, right?
Well,
the typical artist.
Yeah, 100%. You're never really sad. It's always, you're only as good as your last project, and you just learn so much from your last project you take to this project, and you're always going, how can I improve on it? You can always do better, right?
Or how can you learn to be gentle with yourself?
Yeah. How do you?
Yeah, right? You got to take those moments to be like, maybe it's not as good as you want it to be, but it's great to other people. Like, be gentle to yourself. So I've had to learn that.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point, actually. Yeah, and it's almost also you will learn on the next project. If you look back at the first thing, like say for example, what I ever did, the first video, I saw my first business card because I designed it myself. You know, you have your own printer,
Yes.
your inkjet printer, and you're looking at it and you're going, oh my goodness. But then I look, that 8-bit quality is actually kind of cool. So in a way, that retro like beginning stuff is actually cool again. So you kind of find yourself in this little, I don't know, it's not really a struggle anymore. I think as I get older too, you're more accepting of just life and not being hard on yourself. But when you're younger and you're comparing yourself to other things, and I'm not good like that, and it's just like, oh my God, it's torture.
I think that's you're like 25 to like 35-ish.
Oh my goodness.
You're really, I did anyway. It's very comparing.
Same.
You know, I was never good enough. And then after you start to find wisdom as we get a bit older, and you go, that's not what life's about.
No, 100%. And that's kind of one thing, well, especially with social media, you're just comparing and seeing other things what people are doing. You're going, oh, I'm not doing that. And you're, oh my goodness, it's a terrible sort of rabbit hole to go down. So I've decided, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. And how old am I now? I'm 51. So that was the last few years. So I'm still learning.
We're always still learning, we should be. Is the second you stop learning, I think that's a problem. I think we should always be learning.
Tanya, I'm taking a class right now, Claude AI. So they've got free sort of certification. Ooh, so you can take and you get certified at the end of it all. But it's like I have to kind of learn how to work with these AI models. But it's interesting where they take you through the step by step. But here I am at my age, and yeah, I've always been a student though. It's kind of even for these conversations I'm having with people. Like I'm going to learn so much after this conversation. And it just sort of sits with you. And you're like, wow, that's really cool. I never realized that. And then I'll be editing it and I'll be seeing more things and stuff. So it's kind of free education. I appreciate it. Thanks, Tanya.
Yeah, I love it.
So tell me about your entrepreneurial photography. So what was that like? The hours, the dedication, how much you had to work? I think I know the answer to this, but I want you to say it.
That took a community, not just me. So yes, it was my business, but I would say it took a community to have that go as well as it did. I had amazing friend groups because again, my kids were young and I did this, and then I would have repeat clients, and I would have days where I needed some help for childcare, and my friends stepped up, and so we had this little circle of us that we'd kind of babysit each other's kids, and just the more the merrier. Drop yours off, sure, why not?
Yeah.
And I definitely don't think I could have done it as well without all the people who supported me behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I would say it was a struggle for my husband and I to learn when I'm working in my office at home, it doesn't mean I'm available to everyone. It's probably, as you're nodding, something everybody who works from home has to figure out, right? So there's hiccups.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, there's hiccups, but we figured it out. And I did it for a long time. I loved meeting the people I met. A lot of them became friends, and some of them I miss, and I'll think of them. I'll be like, oh yeah, I wonder how they're doing. Or I'll see a baby I photographed as a newborn, and they're like 17 now.
That's
like,
gotta be wild.
Oh my gosh.
That's gotta be wild. Yeah, you were just in a little basket.
Yes.
With a little, anyways, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was gonna say there. Yeah, it does. Does it ever? So with that, yeah, I was just kind of laughing about the working from home. I remember when I was because I've been working from home my whole life, pretty much in video editing. And then when my daughter was small, she just crashed into the office and just. But at the time, I wasn't really even mad. I actually filmed a lot of it, and it was so fun just to see that little thing running around and wanting your attention and sitting on your lap doing some video editing. You know, you're obviously. You have deadlines, but you're just working till you're kind of working when they're in bed. Yeah, you get
to work when you want to. Yeah. So you do. You get to kind of pick and choose. Yeah.
Well, I was working till 2 or 3 in the morning until she went to bed, then I could finally get my work done. Wow. But throughout that, but it was fun. I mean, especially as the kids get older, you're like, you know what? I'm so glad I did that and I spent the time. It's so important.
It is.
Yeah, because they grow up. So you're doing photography, and what's cool about that is, obviously that was a business at the time, but you still have that skill. Mm-hmm. Right. So I think a really cool recurring theme here with you is as you do your jobs,
build your toolbox. Skills.
Yeah. It's never really like, oh, this is what I'm going to be. It's just as long as I think the key here is maybe you can add to this as well, is like if you have the ability to listen, work with people and collaborate, you can kind of almost be trained on anything. Now, not obviously not a doctor or engineer and things like that,
Exactly.
trade schooling, but even in that field, if you can handle that type of skill, wow, it really sets you apart from a lot of people. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Yes. And I think there's no reason in this day and age for us to not be self-learning. Like there's so many tools, there's so many things available. There's no excuse. If you can't afford to go to university, you can't afford to go to college, there's so many other things out there. You just mentioned the AI course you're taking that's free after you're certified. And we all know that's the future. It's already here. I've been on board for 5 years already. You probably have too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So skill sets, build it. If you're doing a job, do the things that nobody else wants to do and do those ones really well. Get noticed.
Tanya, holy cow. This is yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Cause once you're there, I've always had the philosophy is it doesn't, even when you're doing like anything you do, just do the best that you possibly can. If it's raking dirt, for landscaping, if it's planting the plant, if it's design, like I just really immerse yourself in it, do the best you can. It's not even to show off to other people. It's more for your own self,
Yes.
I think, to know that you've gone in, you've given an effort and you see a result.
Yes.
There's nothing better than that for growth,
I agree.
I think. And thank you for agreeing.
Yeah.
So good. No arguments so far. Perfect. So
We're still early, right?
yeah, we're in 30 minutes in. We kind of hit the
Wow,
kinda
30 already,
Oh yeah,
hey?
it goes fast. I mean, I kind of have conversations. They've been on average about an hour and 10 minutes.
Okay.
But honestly, once you're into it, most people are going, it's already done. Yeah, you can talk for an hour, especially
I
on
can
these
definitely
podcasts.
talk for an hour. You know that. Okay. So basically going back to the real estate component where the fork in the road was auto or real estate, that came when I decided to put my business to a close. And that business, it was called Bells and Babies Photography, wedding bells and
I
little
love it.
babies because
Love
I
it.
did newborns and maternity and I missed that part, baby snuggles. And so essentially that kind of was coming to a close. I was feeling burnt out and my business had grown. And what I didn't realize at the time was how I could have scaled that. I did realize. So I was either at a point where I could scale it and delegate out and build like a business, but I could see the industry was changing to go into a lot of media. Instagram was becoming a thing. A colleague photographer of mine had picked up this crazy contract with Toyota because of her photos on Instagram. She had a Forerunner for a year for free. Like I could see things changing and I could see that Instagram and the media and all of that was coming. And I really was not sure if I wanted to be a part of that. I could see it, how consuming
Yeah, for sure.
it was going to be.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
So I sat on that for a little while, went on a stagette with a bunch of my friends. I have friends that are 40-year plus friendships, like birth and up, basically.
Yeah,
I've
awesome.
stayed friends with. Yeah. So those ladies and I, we did a stagette for one of them in Vegas. And flying home, a couple of the girls and I was half asleep and they were talking about how burnt out I was and that I had been snapping at my kids. And that was a good reality moment.
Oh, wow.
And I
Okay.
thought, yeah, this is time to do something different.
Good for you though,
And-
for having that moment. Yeah. Keep going.
yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I just wasn't in a good place with it anymore. I wasn't enjoying it. It wasn't the same. I could see the changes coming. I didn't really want to do these changes. So I decided, what else is there? And that's when I started looking into real estate or auto.
Okay.
That was the time. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense, especially with social media. I mean, I do video work, and it has changed. I mean, you could see this coming with the social media. Well, now it's called interest media. It's not really social anymore. It's more anyways. That's a whole
That's
other
interesting.
topic.
I
Yeah,
haven't heard that yet. Okay.
yeah, which makes sense because I mean, back in the day with Facebook, little tangent here.
was
I would just get people, my friends, and we'd stay in touch with all my high school friends. And then all of a sudden something started leaking. Oh, guess what? This person likes a Toyota RAV. Okay, cool. Thanks for that. It's in my feed. And then all of a sudden I'm just getting everything but anybody. I got no posts from people that I follow. It's just they like this. Okay, great. But what are they doing?
Yeah.
So
the
I kind of
social
was
component changed. You're right. We
Yeah.
were social on it.
very social.
Yeah.
Like we were doing high school reunions. I was keeping in touch with everybody. And this was kind of like 2010, 11 sort of area.
Yep.
And then it just something sort of switched. So it's more if you're interesting, then we'll follow you, and then we can see what social media is, or social interest media is now. I'm gonna try and I'm not gonna coin it. I did hear it on a YouTube video, but it is interest media for
Interest
sure.
media, yeah, I'm gonna use that too.
And you're interesting, so this is good media.
Good, thanks.
Boom. So that transition in the plane, it's good for you for having that reflection, because comes a point in time, especially as an entrepreneur, it's a ton of work. You're doing everything, right? And you're working, you're up, and you wake up with it, you go to bed with it, you think about it, when are you off?
Never. You're right. Never. It's always on.
Like having a day off is not existent, right? Like I know, like right now, this is Good Friday. So yeah, it's a holiday. And so my family said, I will be doing stuff with my family after this, but they did say, it's our Friday. I'm going, I just don't even know.
I didn't even know.
I'm just like, it's a day. It's spring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then it'll be summer, and then it'll be fall. So with that transition then, you kind of got off the plane, and then what was that like to make that decision to end that part of your career and then move? Was there self-reflection, or take your time too? Like it's kind of a reflection moment as well.
I remember I had a few weddings that I knew I had to, obviously I had commitments that I was going to finish up that year. But I think that when I made that decision, there was a relief that came from it. And I knew that it was the right decision because of that piece. You bring up Friday. Yes, it's Good Friday, and I have a faith. And so that component comes in too. So big decisions also include prayer. And so sometimes you get confirmation a couple times and you're like, okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is confirmed, right? So it's something, I do remember that happening, and I felt really good about the decision.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
But to have that reflect that moment for that introspective, is that the right word?
Yes.
Introspective? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
But to take that time and see what's best for you and the family and whatnot. Yeah, that's really good, Tanya.
Because photography became so much more probably for me than my purpose should have been more for the kids.
Yeah.
And as we talked about, time has gone so fast.
But you still have that skill though. Like you still have the photography skill. It's not like that's the thing. Our business isn't who we are, but I think as an entrepreneur, you do get wrapped up in this is my identity. Oh yeah. And it's not good. I don't think doing what you do. It was funny. Someone actually said to me, it's not about, never go up to people and ask them like, hey, so what do you do? It's sort of like, oh, well, but that's not who you are. I think they said you should rephrase the question as, what do you enjoy doing?
Yes.
If you meet somebody,
what do you do on your time off?
Yeah. What do you enjoy? Yeah. What's
your why?
Yeah. What's your why? That's a good way of putting it.
So what's your why? Why are you doing what you do?
Because I hate it when people say, well, I don't hate. I just, that's why it's not hate. Hate's a strong word.
Saying that. Even
what do you
like
do?
At
it's like, well, I don't
things.
even care what I do. It's just who I am and what I enjoy. And that's more important to me to talk about than what you do. What I do is work, right?
Yeah.
So, I do this. I love what I do. Let's get that clear. But it's more, I don't know. I think there's more to learn about people than what they do, than who they are, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I want to know who they are, not just what they do for a job. Jobs are, you learn from them, but it's not who you are.
It's not our identity.
No, 100%.
But I think that some of us do that. I absolutely am guilty of having that part of such, and even as a mom, like my whole identity was this mom of 4 kids and my little ducklings, I'd call them. And I was such a young mom that all of a sudden they stop needing you, right? As the same.
Yeah.
And your responsibility for them goes from here. As they get older, their responsibility goes up. So I would say, I would just say, take your time with your kids. If you're an entrepreneur, be gentle with yourself.
With yourself, yeah.
Remember your why. And do that sooner than 25, 30.
Yeah. No, I think the why, even putting that on your wall as your, that mission statement, it's almost like it's good to have a personal mission statement a little bit. I know for business, it really helps me have the mission statement. Why am I doing this? Like this podcast, I've got a why am I doing it? And
why are you doing it?
Who am I speaking to? I just like to, I like to learn from people. I like to talk to people. I love documentary storytelling. I love it. And I've produced a few pre-COVID. I did one too, and I did one during just after COVID too. But just getting to coordinate with people, sit down with them, have their undivided attention, and just listen to their story, knowing that what you have here, you're going to cut it together and add some suspense and some transitions and really bring together this story. Absolutely love it. The thing with documentaries, though, they take time to produce. They're, a year or two on average. They could, right? I mean, if you're really, I mean, a true documentary when you want to speak to people or follow a story, you got to let it evolve. I did one project 6 months. It was I was following a good friend of mine who was diagnosed with ALS.
I remember.
And so that story, you know, it's not, you don't just make it in a week. You have to sort of work with him and grow and just be flexible to these stories. So that's a documentary. That's the production process. With the podcast, I can sit here, I can learn as much as I can in one sitting for an hour conversation. And then I've got cool clips and media I can kind of edit because I love editing. I love it. So this is kind of a cool.
I hate editing.
Love it. Love it. Editing and motion graphics, that to me, where the story kind of comes together, that to me is why I do this.
Okay.
And I've always thought, like, in any business, you've got to market, you've got to get the clients, there's all these steps along the way, and you're kind of, okay, so what is it that the goosebump moments happen in the edits.
Yeah.
So that to me is like, oh, I've got it. The music connects, the soundtrack, everything's working. Yeah. That's the moment.
Yeah,
so
where it evokes like the emotion that you want it to. You're
unbelievable.
Like, bang, done.
Unbelievable. Nice. And I'll watch it like 12 or 15, 20 different times and I'm still watching it. And that to me is like, okay, and it's just for me.
There's
it's not
everybody around you is like, can you please turn the volume down?
No, it's nobody else is going to watch my stuff 15 or 20 times. It's just because you know how you created it and you know where it came to be. And it's funny, I had a really good conversation with Stephen Hummel of Subtractive Lad, and we talked about AI and the creative process. And he mentioned one thing that AI is missing is the making of it.
Yes,
like when
I watched that episode.
Yeah.
I heard that was brilliant. Sorry, go on.
No.
Because that's a really good soundbite, if you will.
Yeah, it made sense because even for me, I mean, I do
the creating.
I do use AI.
Yeah.
So I use it in my scripting. I do. I also used it for a few projects for a voiceover. Now the thing with the voiceover is these are people that are licensing their voices to be learned. So the real people. So the ethics is there. It's good ethics. It's not just ripping voices from the internet. So people license their voice. These are real people, and then so you just kind of text to voice, and you kind of work with the audio and your voiceovers. So I'm happy with that. It's not as creative as, say, when you're doing your own voiceover into the mic and working with somebody trying to get influctuations and things and tones. That the human element of creativity is it's unmatched. It's unbelievable. So that's what AI is kind of missing in the creative process. Like I would rather strum a guitar and play a few chords than just say play C, D, G, and then you hear it. Completely different.
Yeah, because you haven't created that. There's no emotion to this.
Zero emotion.
I agree.
Prompting is a skill.
Yeah.
But that when it comes from the soul and the heart and the mind and you're just pouring it out, that's our humanity. That's our humanity. That's art. That's gives tears to our eyes. It's our architecture. It's flowers. It's everything, right? So anyways, we're going off a little tangent.
No, that's totally true. And
but
I'm nodding because I'm going, like part of the creation is telling a story.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about my marketing experience and that is so key. People want that story piece. And so I can relate to what you're saying with the editing and that process. And definitely I'm joking about, family members being annoyed by the sound because you're watching it over and over, because this is definitely, I'm just doing little reels, not even a huge thing. And it'll take me a while until I feel like I have the emotion down.
Yeah. But that's you're communicating through it.
Yeah. And you can't replicate that with AI. I absolutely use it for certain things and strategy. I use it to replicate myself.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, especially once you kind of build a project file or even in Claude, where it's learning me and I'm educating it, so it's becoming more of my voice. But I'm always critiquing it and checking it and making sure rewriting. I have a lot of rewriting. You're never going to get
checking.
one.
I think that's the biggest. Yeah, it's never going to be perfect.
No, but it's an incredible assistant. I mean, for productions. And anyways, to go back, that's why I'm doing this podcast.
Okay, I love it.
But it really does help with production and podcasting because I'm cutting. I take the transcript out and then I start to cut my social clips from it. It's giving me feedback on what might be good hooks, and then I'm looking at it. Then I'll review it. It's just giving me that initial. It's kind of like an assistant coming in and just sort of like
extra person to bounce stuff off of. I use it for that too. I'm like creative that way where I need it to kind of, I'm a verbal processor. I learned that at Hyundai when I was working. So back to auto.
Yeah, please. Yeah. No, for the rest.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's why I'm doing my podcast.
Totally.
And thanks for being here, Tanya. Let's get back to you.
Okay. When I did first discovered that I'm such a verbal, I have to hear my words while I'm thinking.
Interesting.
To really narrow things down sometimes. And so I would walk into one of the offices of a colleague who did the business office at Hyundai, and I'd ramble on, and I'd just ramble, and I'd kind of pace in a circle and be like, blah, 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 blah. And he'd be like, is there a question in here, Tanya? Or are you just needing to talk it out? And I'd be like, whoa. There's no question. I just need to talk to somebody to like hear myself, to get to my own conclusion. Sometimes I wouldn't even, need the other person's input. I just need to. So for AI, I feel like I can put the little microphone on, talk out loud, and sometimes, right? And sometimes that's how I use it as my assist.
Yeah.
And so learning that about myself through Hyundai, I also want to add that it's not just been about skill sets. When you do these different jobs and you have acquired different tools for your toolbox, you're also learning things about yourself, or hopefully learning things about yourself.
So how soon are you learning that about yourself? Are you like when you're in it, are you going, oh, I learned that today? Because it sounds like you're very introspective, or is that the
I'm pretty self-aware.
Self-aware.
I've been told this. I'm not trying to be
No.
egotistical. I've been told this.
I can see that too, for sure. It's something where when you're in the moment, you're actually sort of gathering that and sort of adding it to the toolbox. Okay, that's cool. I learned that. That's something I can use for the future in the real time, not this reflection back. Good for you.
Thank you.
That's something to really, I think anyone listening, it's great advice to really take each moment or each interaction and just, what did I learn from it? What can I go moving forward?
Mm-hmm. We all have different communication styles, right? Every single person, we have different personalities. So we have different communication styles. So when you're working with people, you can learn different people's communication styles. And if you can, that can support that person. So this guy learned that I just needed this space to get this out, and he picked that up, right? So I'm like, oh, wow. Yeah, it was an aha moment, but because he picked it up, was able to share what he saw my communication style was, or my thought process style was. Yeah, it was just a good aha moment. And I've always appreciated that.
Yeah, good person to work with too.
Totally.
For doing that. Yeah. Some people kind of get in their own world sometimes, but if you're right with we all communicate differently. Like, you're a verbal communicator. I talk to myself too when I'm doing things, as you probably heard me when I was setting up the cameras, talking about media. But it just sort of reaffirms, just like a little assistant in my head. Kind of helps me check the boxes and make sure everything's on task. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm more, I don't know what kind of learner I am. I do visual for sure. Visual, but audio, I just kind of have myself a moment here because I do talk to myself like I'm doing right now.
You are.
That's pretty cool. So talk about the audio industry. So how long you were there? Obviously you had the decision with having kids. You decided that's kind of the direction you go, not real estate yet. Yep. Is that fair to be in that? Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that then, working in that industry.
I loved it. There were parts I really, really enjoyed. And of course, there's parts you don't. But it was something that I did go into thinking I'm going to probably have to overcome these obstacles because it's car sales. People think, car salespeople, right? We have our own stigma attached to that. So I expected to have to break through some objections and walls and people's comfort levels very quickly. And I know I'm good at that because I'm just I'm not there to sell through all my careers, like prom dresses, tuxedos, whatever it has been. You're not there to sell it. You're there to guide. They're there looking for something and you're the professional. So you got to guide them through that process. So we were trained. I was trained really well to just, you don't show somebody over their budget. You don't show somebody under, you show them what they need. You don't upgrade them. Just kind of focus really on their discovery of why are they here? What are they looking for? What is their budget? Can they afford this? Check their credit. Like, we learned to kind of look at it like a big picture, a big story, not just selling a car. Like it's a whole moving puzzle and there's a lot of pieces. That I've really liked about it because you have to think strategically. It's not about guessing. If you could just go wander around the lot and you're guessing at what car works for them without asking them these questions, you're not really doing them any justice. You're just wandering around the lot with them. So I was trained right away to kind of think through the whole process. It's not just, it's a dominoes effect. If they do get into a vehicle they can't afford, that's going to be a problem for them later on. And unfortunately, people do these things to themselves, right? So I would say often if somebody was upgrading themselves to, leather and a sunroof, hey, that's on you.
Yeah.
We can look at this. No problem. Are you sure this payment works? Right. So I enjoyed how
That's okay. We have a
my
phone there.
notifications. Yeah. Sorry.
It's a seagull.
It is a seagull.
Why-
People
so-
love that it's a seagull.
I love it too. It took me back to the ocean there. But you're right on that talk. No, keep going there.
Yeah. So really, and process. So also at the time it was called Merton Auto Group, and we had 3 to 4 dealerships. We had 4 dealerships at the end there. And so they really wanted to serve their community, right? They were built on, like I said, guiding a person through the process, not just selling them something. And so I really enjoyed that. So I didn't expect customers to lie to me. So unfortunately, the reality was I learned not everybody coming to the dealership is also going to be honest.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I had to develop a little bit of a thicker skin without expecting that aspect. So for an example, people, unfortunately, you might know that there's a problem with your vehicle and you do a quick fix, but you're trading it in because it's,
it's
got a quick fix in the engine and you're getting rid of it. It's really disappointing to see that, but you're dealing with the public, you're dealing with everybody. So you're going to have those. And that was something I didn't have to deal with in most of my other jobs.
Yeah. Especially like bridal. I mean, you're coming for this moment, right? And you'd think a car purchase would be that moment too, right? I guess not really a prom dress.
I just didn't expect to be lied to.
So going back to Dino Town, be careful of the takers,
Totally.
right? So
Didn't think of that. Absolutely. Yes. And oh, wow.
yeah, for sure. So I mean, those mentors in people's lives mean so much because it's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. And I know young people, if you're out there listening, I hope you are really. It's okay. Don't worry.
Again.
I love it.
They're flying.
It's when parents or people that are older give you advice, it's not about it's not a lecture. It's just like it's lived experience. And if we can make anything a little bit easier, no, it's okay. Don't worry about it. A little bit easier to just learn about yourself and I forget what I'm trying to say. I'm going off topic.
Sorry.
No worries. I think I'm going to leave that in though. I'm not going to edit it out. We're going to ride with it. Okay, so now that you've had an understanding that people can lie.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, poor Tanya.
Thicker skin, right? Got to develop a thicker skin, and just Mel Robbins says, just let them, right?
Yeah,
it's fine. Just let them. It doesn't have to affect me.
What did you? I heard.
So let them.
Yes, I heard that a couple months ago, and I just loved it.
Yeah.
It's like it's
that's the way you want to live your life.
100%.
Have at her. Right?
I love it.
Yeah.
So when you're okay, so how many years were you there? Because I think I met you when you were in the auto industry.
Did. Yeah, absolutely. So I actually was cross trained from Hyundai over when we opened up the Kia location. At some point, I went to sales floor for a year and a half, and then sales assistant manager for a few months.
Oh, so you had some
manager.
So you're growing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I was growing. So So from manager, I moved to our Kia locations. I learned Kia. And then from there, I was over at Nissan. So I kind of went cross-trained between 3 of our 4 brands. I remember really needing to be over at Nissan because the process was kind of really far off the course and they wanted to pull things back. I actually went into assistant sales manager role there, and my manager came over and we just kind of tidied it up a little bit, if you will. That's where I decided during COVID, they were being acquired by Bannisters. And so at this time, I was in the industry for 5 years. I would say I learned so much in those 5 years that my brain was really like, I'm wearing too many hats. I was getting very corporate burnout. I was complaining to my general manager. I needed another manager of some kind, whether I had an assistant manager or general manager, but I was doing like everything. So I was in charge of the website, the new, the used. I was taking photos for the website. I was managing a lot of our website. Like, it was just too much.
Oh my goodness.
It's too much.
Yeah. Did you tell them you were a photographer? Or did they know already?
Well, yeah, I think that was my own fault. Again, having these high expectations and wanting things to be fairly perfect.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's an entrepreneurial mind.
It
right?
is, and probably bad manager at the same time, because I would try to teach these kids to young people to take a straight photo, just straight photograph, and it would be crooked. And so it's a bit frustrating. And as a manager, you're like, okay, well, then I'll just go do it myself. So I did that too much.
Yeah, you just said, I know I can get it done. It'll be done in 2 minutes. Yeah. I'll just get it done. But then that 2 minutes compounds and you're like, you just should have taken the time to teach them. But
so I probably took on a bit too much on my own accord.
Yeah, you got, and plus, people probably aren't passionate about it like you are, right? Like I know what I need and I know what sells and I know what the look's got to be. And it's you got to, even within a workplace, if you find those people that are passionate in certain areas, you got to put them in place. Almost like a team, right? If they're good at this, you got to put them in that.
You're curating something that you should be building each other's skills that are all different so that works together cohesively, not trying to, do everything. So I learned that I need to learn how to delegate, and that was
good for you though.
Yeah,
but good for you for finally like realizing, okay, what we need, here's what's happening, self-reflection, understanding, okay, what am I good at, what am I not good at? So that was, you were obviously getting burnt out because you weren't, so what happened then?
That was literally February of 2020. And so I remember my GM looked at me and he said, I think we're going to be laying people off soon. Just hang tight. And it was really sad and incredible to have to go through that.
Yes.
But so that really is what kind of changed. And I ended up leaving that industry about 6 months after during COVID. And so I went into a different industry. But I think with the auto sales, like not only did I learn thick skin, but I learned negotiation and strategy. So I learned the importance of a process, making sure you have very tidy client notes, because potentially in the future, you might need to go back to a conversation and say, no, remember when we talked about this?
Yeah.
So documentation, process, and negotiating skills was huge. But just 5 years in, burnout happened, then COVID, 6 months in, I decided to leave.
Okay. Yeah. Well, COVID was just a massive, and then, so let's say we're out of this. I want to bring it to your current career now.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you went from basically, you were in the audio industry. Now you're in real estate. Tell me a little bit about, I'm just trying to think of an audience who's hearing this. What was it like to the first day that what was the first thing you had to do to become the real estate agent? What was the first, you had to call somebody, fill out a form. What was that first day like?
Right. So I sat down with somebody who is a mentor to me now, and she basically said she had great answers for all the things that people usually tell you not to do something, right?
Okay.
Like when you're bouncing ideas off and people are being your devil's advocate. She was like, yeah, but it doesn't matter if there's a ton. This is what she said. It doesn't matter if there are many real estate agents. There's only one of you, right? So, okay, that made sense to me. I am Tanya Maas. I am not every single person's agent. That's okay. But I'm going to be really strong for the ones that I am going to attract as my clients. So I think that was a scary but a great conversation that pushed me into just literally going online and registering and signing up and paying for the course and getting going.
I think that's, that's life advice, right?
Yes.
There's only one of you.
You are you.
Yeah.
And as a marketing person, I understand personal brands. So I was like, oh yeah, duh.
But even for, that was one big thing, I think growing up was, there is one of you, but you're like, oh, it's already been done. No, that's actually, no, it's
not my way.
Not your way. Yeah. Well said. Geez, Tanya, this has been a great conversation. We're going to keep going. We're
Sure,
almost at an hour, but let's just keep, I want to, I think, very educational in your experience. So I appreciate you sharing. That's really cool.
Thank you.
Now, becoming a real estate agent, it's absolutely apparent that this career move is so you. Like, my goodness. And anyone who is, I'm just going to give you a little props here. Anyone who is working with you is unbelievably lucky.
Aww,
like, holy, no, because I know you'll be friends for life with them, or at least be there for them. Not you're, not going to have.
I'm going to a client's birthday tonight. So yeah, you're kind of right there, Atlee. You're pretty wise there, sir.
Okay, so there you go. Okay, you heard it here.
Maybe
That's
not every
awesome.
client, fair enough, but some you're right.
Yeah, if you have
I
more
actually
than...
sold her a car, and that's how she came back to me from real estate.
Hello.
Yeah.
So Tanya, relationships.
Right.
How important is it to have relationship
Huge.
building? Talk
Huge.
about that a little bit.
Not everybody's a connector. I enjoy connecting people. Like,
Yes, you do.
I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, there's 5 people that should be on your show, right? There's always my wheels are spinning in my mind.
Yeah.
And I've got that superpower of ADHD going on where the brain is neurodivergent and goes in different directions, hard to keep a thought. And so I think that because I'm a natural connector, the relationships do matter. And because this also is a community that, I mean, my family's been here for generations. And so my best friend and her mom and my mom hung out. They have memories at Grandpa's cabin at Lindell Beach. Well, my kids now have, that's like 4 generations or whatever you want to do the math, right?
Yeah.
That's so many generations and these memories. And so relationships matter, I think, because right from the get-go, we were set up that way. Like family and friends really were important and supportive from a young age. And so we've kept in touch, and I think that's key, but not everybody can do that. Not everybody does. And I just thought, I didn't know that that was like a superpower to connect people,
It
but
is.
it is.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm realizing this.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And it's also having a thick skin, right? Because there is, there's that fine balance, right? But it sounds like you're very grounded too, and you kind of had that experience. At times. No, I mean, that's for all of us too, right? It's an absolute roller coaster. So, no, but I think the profession you're in right now is absolutely you, right? 100, absolutely. So let's just take a little reflection and look back. What would you, I don't want to say the question like, would you change anything, but just what advice would you give yourself kind of as you're going through life, indirectly or indirect, like just, it could be young Tanya or advice to anyone else who's maybe getting into real estate. There's a couple questions there, but just maybe let's start with, self-reflection. What would you kind of...
I'm my own worst enemy. So if you're like me and you have very high expectations for yourself, it goes back to learning how to be gentle to yourself. And I think for me, that was something that came after I left the auto industry and I was pretty down and burnt out. I was working for actually a design and build construction company for 2 years.
That's right too.
Yeah. So, but that feels like such a little blip a long time ago. And so anyways, the owner there, she would constantly be like, Tanya, it's okay to be gentle to yourself.
Oh, nice.
And crying isn't a weakness. Like, it was such a safe space to work. And I often felt like if you are crying, it's a sign of weakness. I don't know why, but yeah, just to be gentle and let your body release the things it needs to release that you've held on to. I think I had corporate burnout so bad that I even had a night in the hospital where I had like palpitations happening.
Hard. Yeah. That's stress.
So
that's massive.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stress. And I really needed to change something for my health. So I would tell, future Tanya, past Tanya and anybody in the future, don't allow your body to have like a physical reaction if you're stressed out and it's not worth it. Whatever you're doing, it is not worth a physical health risk to you. And like recognizing that earlier than probably what I did and get out of that situation. It's okay. You can figure it out. Get out of that situation. It's not worth it.
That's really good advice. I actually have here, if someone feels behind in their career, what would you tell them? That's kind of, what would you tell them?
If they feel behind, I feel behind in my career. I'm like, I only have 2 deals done. I've been doing this a year. Like, I'm not where I want to be. So I think that you strive for your goals and understand if you're not failing at least 15% of the time, you're probably not growing. You should actually fail forward. So if you're trying to grow, focus on your smaller goals, not your big, huge end goal. Because if you're doing your smaller goals, that goal should come.
Yeah.
And so failing forward is okay, and be gentle to yourself.
I love that. Geez, Tanya, like career advice. This could be another profession for you, man. You've got a lot of talents. I didn't realize. Well, I mean, how often you sit down with an hour and just undivided to have a conversation. That's also why I want to do this podcast too. I'm having all my friends on it because it's like, hey, let's get out of the pub where I'm yelling at you and I'm only hearing about jokes, and it's like, and especially as I get older, it's funny because hearing is huge, and I've got an Apple Watch, and the last few times I was out with friends from the squash league at the pub, my watch is constantly telling me if I'm in this environment for 30 minutes, I'm going to go deaf. It's 80 dB or 90 to 110 sometimes. I'm going, you know what? So anyways, that's why I started the podcast.
I don't like those watches.
No, they tell you too much.
Yeah.
So where are you? Okay, so let's just have we're doing pretty good here. We're actually over the hour mark. So I'm going to ask you one last question here. So what matters most to you right now? How do you define success, Tanya?
Well, instead of defining my success, I think I've discovered why I'm doing what I'm doing. And the success part should be, again, that further down, that vision. And success for me is my family being looked after and my community. So I'm very passionate about a couple not-for-profits, and I'm involved in one called Compassionate Neighbor Society. Oh, cool. And it is where I get to go once a month and I pick up meal from Elite Food Services, and then I bring to an apartment building where there's about 16 to 20 seniors, and I play a game with them and we do lunch and we have conversation. So what I would like to do is once I am further into my career, I want to make sure that my success isn't just for me. I'd like to give back. And I'm a philanthropist, I guess, at heart too. And so I'm right now just donating time because that's what I've got available and skill set. So yeah, I guess my success just is my family being looked after. I have this dream of helping my husband retire earlier from his position because he's in a high stress job that I feel like they should retire early from. And that would be my best scenario, is getting him retired early, having a successful financial security for my family, but also still really being able to do outreach in the community through these programs.
Yeah, I couldn't see you just retiring and doing nothing.
Never.
This is a life for you.
Yeah.
This is your life.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a walk with a 91-year-old who was a realtor and had his own brokerage back in the 80s and 90s here in Chilliwack tomorrow.
Oh, so you're going to have a little walking podcast.
Yeah.
So you're probably doing podcasts left, right, and center.
Should
you just
I
don't
record
know.
it?
I don't know. You have to ask permission
right.
first. Yeah, for sure. So Tanya, what else are you doing? How you're a real estate agent. How can people reach out to you? I'm going to put a bunch of descriptions in all the posts I do with my YouTube channel and Spotify and things like that. So for those listening, how can they get in touch with you if they need to get into the real estate game?
Depends on how they want to communicate. So if they want to call me. I'll chat. Okay. If they want to email me or text, whatever they need. I'm going to accommodate to the best I can. I am a little old school, so I do like a quick conversation or even a live chat or a cup of coffee together. Definitely.
Yeah. And you have a website?
Yep.
What is it?
We'll make sure the links are there. It's long.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I don't need to spell it. No one's going to be, oh, hang on, let me get everyone who's listening, we'll give you a moment to get a pencil and a piece of paper, and we'll be right back with Tanya's website. Tanya, this has been awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Ali.
I mean, there's so many different areas. I mean, let me just go through my notes here. You've hit everything. You're such a community builder as well. Mm-hmm. And I've absolutely enjoyed meeting you through our daughters, being friends. Yeah. We moved here to this community in 2006 and absolutely love it out here. And we've built such a good friend group, and you're part of it as well. So Tanya, thank you for being on the OverArch podcast. And that's all for today's episode, everybody. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening to OverArch, the People Podcast.